Hi, everyone. This is Jane Grohl, CEO of the DevOps Institute, and I'm really delighted today to be joined by Igor Gulko, who is the founder of the DevOps Talks Conference in both Melbourne, Australia, and Auckland, New Zealand. And I'm particularly delighted because I will be speaking at the DevOps Talks Conference in Melbourne, and DevOps Institute is a platinum sponsor. So welcome, Igor.
Thank you, Jane. Yeah, we are very glad and proud to have you on board DevOps Talks in this year, and it's fantastic to have DevOps Institute as our platinum sponsor on DevOps Talks Melbourne. Yeah, and we are looking forward to have you on board and hear your presentation here in Australia.
So for those who may not be familiar with DevOps Talks, tell us a little bit about the conference, how you got the idea to start the conference, what you've seen in past years, and maybe a little bit of why this year is either different or you're really excited about it. So just tell us a little bit more about the conference.
Yeah, the idea of conference was born around 5, maybe 6 years ago. So I had been invited to several in conferences at Google, and I had very good and honest conversations there. And my main question regarding to their conference was that it's so cool, it's so great to have this conference in US, but I would like to build something similar in Australia. So I would like to see their very excited and great ecosystem development of high-tech startups in Australia, and this is what I miss it here. My previous background is from Israel, where we had the fantastic high-tech ecosystem, and when my family moved to Australia, I feel that this is one of the things that I miss here. So one of advices that I got there, it was if you want to build a very good and advanced ecosystem of high-tech startups, you have to bring to people to Australia like us, influencers in the industry, people who can bring investments, people who understand that and can see a future and in your country, in your ecosystem development. So I started to think about conference, and it took for me several years to build the first one. So we started in 2017 in Melbourne, and it wasn't good. It was so good, so perfect that I was very surprised. See, when I do something, I have more than 25 years IT and development experience, so I do my best, and I expect it will be good and very good. In this case, it was just much better than I expected. So I talked with people, and they told me, yeah, it's very good, but we would like to have more than one, but more than one in the same city doesn't work. So we built last year, we ran 2 conferences, one in Melbourne, one in Sydney. And on all our conferences, we had people from New Zealand. On the latest one in Sydney, we had around 20 people from New Zealand, and they told me, Igor, let's do something similar in New Zealand. After that, we had some workshops in Wellington and Auckland, and we met people there, and we found it's very cool. People, very cool environment, and it's nice. It's very nice from, I mean, not from a nature perspective, it's awesome from nature perspective, but it's very cool from technological perspectives. And we decided to run in this year 3 conferences. So we ran Melbourne and Auckland in March, and we will run Sydney in September. So yeah, and I keep going with my conferences, and I meet a lot of people in the US. I have a lot of friends there, and I'm trying to bring my friends, and they introduce me to other cool people, and to bring them to Australia and New Zealand, and it works pretty well. We have fantastic, I think, stellar lineup speakers for our upcoming conferences. We have you, Jane. We have John Willis. We have Shlomi Ben Chaim, who is the CEO and co-founder of JFrog. We have Jennifer Pitov. She's co-author of SRE book from Google. We have guys who actually from our Australian startups from security. And we have Julian Burton from SIG. This is our very successful Australian startup. We have Sam Kronenberg. He is co-founder and CEO at a Cloud Guru. And we have, I think we have more than 60-70% international speakers. And this is actually very, very cool because, you know, I would like to see on our conferences fresh ideas, fresh air from overseas. And this is what we expect from your presentations. This is what we expect from Shlomi's and John's presentations, from Jennifer as well.
Well, and you also have Nathan Harvey, who's one of my favorite people, as your MC, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Nathan is my very, very good friend, and he helps a lot. And we met first time I think 1 or 2 years ago in Chicago on ChefConf. And Chef is our global platinum sponsor, so Chef sponsor all our conferences. And yeah, it's awesome. See, it's Nathan, he's fantastic. Yeah, I really enjoy each hour conversation, each hour chat. Yeah, absolutely. And he will be our MC for Melbourne and Sydney. Yeah.
Yeah, and I said he really knows how to gauge it. And we're really excited about a couple of things associated with the conference. Our partner, ALC, is going to deliver pre-conference training on DevSecOps, which, as you know, is a very hot and trending topic. And this is a certification class as a DevSecOps engineer. So how do you think that will benefit the attendees by attending some pre-conference training?
Absolutely. See, I just had yesterday very interesting conversation with one of our partners, and they are very interested in this course. So I think I will contact you very soon because they have several questions about it. I think it's fantastic. Yeah. See, my vision on DevOps, it's much more about end-to-end delivery. When we talk about DevOps, it's aggregation of all stages of development at one flow. So security definitely part of it. And when we talk about development, testing, integrations, about many aspects of development, it's not so much engineers usually they are not struggling to take different parts of development, but when we talk about security, it's a lot of people they're just scary from it. So I think to have this kind of training workshop, I think it's fantastic, and it's also a certified course. So I think it will be very, very useful for our delegates. Yeah, definitely.
I'm really, really excited about that. And, you know, we're really excited because I'm not sure if you're aware, but last year, DevOps Institute launched the Upskilling Enterprise DevOps Skills Survey. And so we had about 1,600 people respond from all over the world talking about what skills, right? We talk a lot about T-shaped people, what skills T-shaped people really should be focusing on, what skills are critical to DevOps. And how do you know? And the report, the data from that survey, the report's going to publish on March 5th. So just in time for the conference. And I'm really excited to be able to share some of the data that came out of the report. And I've seen the data, and I will tell you something, Igor, it's unbelievable. So I'm really, really excited to include that in my session as well, because, you know, as you know, a lot of people in DevOps are really confused about what skills do I need? Do I need security skills, testing skills, coding skills, tool skills, right? Soft skills. So very, very excited about that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm looking forward to hear it from you. And is it possible to download this report as well?
Absolutely. On March 5th, we'll be publishing download links so that
Mm-hmm.
anybody that wants to download the report, it's pretty extensive, will be able to download it as well. And we'll be putting up QR codes at the conference so that anybody that wants to download it instantly from our table will be able to do that. So I said, really excited, important research project. So speaking of which, what's the DevOps community like in Australia? I mean, I know we've got a few partners in Australia and year over year. In fact, our very first partner 4 years ago came from Australia, and that was ALC Group. But we've since, added partners, and we've seen a lot of activity. What's your perspective on the DevOps scene in Australia? Are enterprises starting to embrace it? Is it something that's growing year over year? What do you think?
Yeah, see, our DevOps community is great, and I think that one of the first, I think the second or third DevOps conference had been created in Australia by Lindsay Holmwood. I think it was around 8 years ago. So Lindsay, he will present on a conference as well. He is engineering manager in Envato. And we have actually, it's very dynamic and very interesting DevOps meetups. We have a lot of people who work as in real DevOps environments. Many companies, they transform their digital by digital transformations, their development to make it DevOps development system. So I worked several years for companies that called the SIG, and we saw a lot of progress when we started to implement the DevOps. So it's very good developed community. I cannot say it's big or small, as everything it's compared to something, but I think it's pretty big community, and very vibrant community. So it's a lot of new things that you can see now in technology. People implement in different companies, in small companies, in enterprises. For example, our global elite sponsor INZ, they have fantastic progress in just in maybe 1-2 years in this area. So they implement very cool things in cloud. So they work on zero trust development as well. So it's many things that happens in Australia. And I had very good conversations with CTO of GFrog in Melbourne's conference in last year. So, and he mentioned that many things that we use here in the cloud in Australia, it's very advanced, even for Silicon Valley and for Israel. And I think it's a very good comment for our development here.
Fantastic. I was in New Zealand and Australia about 2 years ago, just under 2 years ago. And you could start to see the seeds of that where, you said about New Zealand, most think of New Zealand for its natural environment, and it is beautiful. But there is a technology community there as well. I wasn't in Melbourne, I was in Sydney, but got to meet with a couple of different groups while I was there, and you could really see that there was kind of an innovative spark there. So I'm excited to return to Australia, but I'm particularly excited about coming to Melbourne and the DevOps Talks conference. So I'll see you in a few weeks, huh?
Absolutely, yeah. We are waiting for you.
Okay, well, you know what? I've got a little bit to do before then because we have to release our report, but I'll be on their way. And of course, anyone listening to this, if you are at all able to come to Melbourne, March 21st and 22nd, this is a fantastic conference. And I know many of the people that are speaking are international thought leaders, and so the opportunity to really hear from those that have kind of an inside track on what's trending in the DevOps space, I think this is such a worthwhile event, and I know you're taking it to Auckland the following week. Unfortunately, I can't join you there, but one of our team from DevOps Institute is going to be in Auckland, and I think, again, it's a can't miss opportunity. So thanks a lot, Igor, and again, I really appreciate it. Thank you for the opportunity to speak and share at the conference, and we'll see you in Melbourne.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Absolutely. You're very welcome here.
Thank you. Well, for those listening, again, if you're anywhere near Melbourne on March 21st and 22nd, hope to see you at the DevOps Talks conference. Take care.